After you went to that native country, they say go and get the visa. When you go there, they fail you.
Yes.
Did they give you visa?
No, I eat my money. No, they eat my money.
They eat your money.
Yes.
Go again. You people abandon Christ, misbehaving. Come here, let me just give you this. I'm unwell for wagon.
God have mercy upon us.
My name is Asitonka Agri Abba and channel is called Asi Darling because I'm such a darling. So hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about my own visa application process. If you did not watch the previous video, on the previous video I mentioned how the entire thing started, what prompted me to start my whole Canada journey and all of that. Please check out that video. If you've watched the last video, of course, you know that I listed the services of a visa consulting agency. Please, I know that some people like to do this process themselves. It is easy and all. But I want to state first of all that my biggest pet peeve is people that feel that simply because you want DIY, all of us like that, it's not possible. It's not possible. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not even for laziness or the lack of wanting to research. I do extensive research, and the extensive research I do, I prefer, like for me, I don't know for everybody, I prefer to research the best person to send the message. Now, just me. Instead of research the way to do it by myself, I will research the best person to send the message so that I can do other things. Because, like I said, I was very intentional through this entire process, and this particular visa application process I knew was going to fall, of course, in the new year. We're already in 2022, okay, because I've gotten admission 2021 and all of that. In 2022, I knew that, okay, since I'm now becoming serious about this Canada waka, I'm going to be leaving a rather profitable business to come to a new land and start school. I already had a platform on YouTube that was at least growing. It was doing substantially, I believe I was at what? 20-something thousand as at 2022 January or so. So it was doing well. What I now planned was, see, of course I will allow my visa agents to do the application, but I'm going to focus and hone in on YouTube. I'm going to do my best. That's why, for those of you that noticed, like our 2022, the drive was massive. That was because I was trying to push the channel to the point where at least it makes sense, even though I'm not going to be physically present because my company is still running fantastically well. My sister is there, my team is there. But being here, at least let YouTube be paying for certain bills and things that I will need, my expenses and all of that. So that's why I pushed in so much energy into YouTube. In the month of March, I know I rejected like 2 wedding jobs. Because that March, last year March, I had planned in my head to do a video every single day. That was what was my thought process for 2022. So at the other end was my visa. This is backstory because people know I like gist. Anyways, for my visa application process, the agents were the ones that handled it from beginning to end. All I needed to do was to provide whatever they said I should provide. I wasn't in charge of my portal. It was none of my business. Where did I meet these people from? I've heard a lot about their company. I've researched and all of that. I did a lot of thinking. I had spoken to them. I knew, of course, they were credible and they know what they're doing. Shout out to a YouTuber here. I follow him. Very, very amazing YouTuber, Johnson Ojo. Please, you push follow Johnson Ojo. It was very funny. Now when I was researching, I now found out that he also used the agents too. So yes, the name of the agency, I'm not doing advert for them. First of all, before I start even listing all the visa documents you will need, I'm not an immigration consultant. I'm not licensed. I believe that you would have done your research. There's no point. Whether you're coming to Canada, you're coming to US, it doesn't even make sense that you will not research where you're going to. Like, for me, when I see people do it, it takes a lot. This journey costs so much money. It's one thing to research, sleep on Naira land, always join forums, ask questions, Telegram groups. There are Telegram groups that will show you how to do this application by yourself. Don't follow me. You must not pay people to do it. Me personally, see, and shout out to my business, my bank my bank officer. I don't fill forms. I hate all those petty things. Just show me where I will sign and get out of the place. That's the kind of person I am. So it's not laziness thing. It's just, maybe it's a laziness thing. Maybe it's wealth, you know. I never see the money yet, but I identify as rich and wealthy. I'm not necessarily even campaigning, or will I say doing adverts for my agency, because if you want to use them, it's at your own risk. Don't come and write in my comment section, I use the agent to use, see what happened to me. I don't have strength. Use the one you want to use, or if you like that one, but please be very careful with your money. Make sure you use people that are credible. I use Maple Education Center. I don't know, one thing I want to write first of all, for those of you that are here in Canada, that maybe you're watching this to support me, thank you so much. Please, let me, so that I don't make a mistake. There are a lot of people that are very, some videos, people are very secretive. I don't know. Is this something in the air? Just so that I know first, let me start my own secretive nature. You understand, in time. You see people asking, like, what agent did you use? And people cannot say. I don't know if it's a secret shot. So my plan for 2022 was straight. Build YouTube. Simple. Build YouTube, focus on YouTube. I had my events that, of course, by 2022 I was already going back in terms of operational services for my event company. I was still coming out doing coordination. You see me in the events. Most times I'm just at one place, maybe sitting down, maybe watching the people, maybe just, you know, because I knew that this was the plan. I needed to see my staff perform. Please note, everything I'm going to say, I'm going to, of course, list it in the comments or in description. Yes, I'll list it in the description box, or pin it also in a comment. So don't worry about maybe writing it now, okay? Just listen. The first thing you need is your international passport. I get some people, I don't know, like, you can't even start to think of this process if you have not gotten an international passport. Get an international passport. If you need to get now, please just get one that is like 10 years so that you don't stress about it again. Get your international passport. If you want to, if you're moving with yourself, your family, get for everybody, okay? First of all, get your international passport. Second one is a passport photograph. This passport photograph is, there's a certain dimension. For me, I just went to Studio 24 and told them, see me looking down, it's because I wrote it down so that I will not make any mistake. The third one is your university transcript. Get your university transcripts. The fourth one is the university certificate, like your certificate, your actual certificate. Some people have success letter. Please go and get the actual certificate. That's the fourth one. Okay, your international passport, your passport photograph, the transcript, the university certificate. The fifth is your WAEC results. If you use WAEC or NECO, I use NECO, so your NECO result or your WAEC result. The sixth one is NYSC, of course, your NYSC certificate. The seventh one, if you have any professional qualifications, like me, I was putting in for data related courses. That meant that my certificate from the program I did, for those of you that didn't watch my last video, I did certain certification courses around tech. That was why I had to bring those certificates. It will help, because the reason you need this is so that you can also have a very strong SOP. Your SOP is your statement of purpose, especially for those of us that have a long like study gap and everything you get. So please, if you have questions around that, just let me know, but I'll do an SOP video. If you have like specific SOP related questions, let me know. Okay, so that's the reason you're bringing these awards or these professional certificates, is to drive your points or buttress your points that, okay, you're qualified to take up this course that you applied for. Okay, that's the seventh one. Next one will be reference letter from your employer. So this is where, okay, if you're working, reference letter from your employer, and 3 months pay slip from your employer. For those of us that are entrepreneurs, this is where your bank statement comes in. So for those of you that have been running businesses that you did not register, I don't know, but it's kind of weird, okay? Because it made my own case a bit easier when I'm going to talk about like the documents and all. But for this one now, since I don't have an employer, I submitted like my bank statement, okay? But there's a part for that. But for this one, I didn't submit any reference letter from anybody because I'm the CEO of the company. Do you get? But if you're working, get that. If you have gotten any awards, get that. The next one, the ninth one, is your birth certificate. But since we are senior citizens, we most likely have age declaration. Because most of us, is either they have misplaced our birth certificate or something, one reason or the other. But yeah, your age declaration. Next one is your marriage certificate if you're married, and of course most times the name has changed. That's the 10th one. Birth certificate of your children if you have a child, if you have children, birth certificate of the children. Family ties like photo ID if you have any government photo ID for your parents and your siblings. That's also another thing you have to, they told me to submit. Understand that these are things that I submitted to my own visa agent. Your visa agent might ask for different things, I don't know, but these are the ones that I submitted. Then the next one, if you have a sibling in Canada, of course they will ask like, do they have study permit? You submit their study permit or their work permit or their PRO, or if they're actual citizens, you submit something in that regard. The next one is the Ogbonge one, which is the study plan, which is the SOP. Okay, so that's also something you have to write and submit. So please note that my agent did not write my SOP. I don't know if maybe one of the reasons people want to use agents is because you want somebody to write your SOP. I don't know if it's possible or some agents write. I don't know. But your SOP is something that is personal to you. It's better that you write, but there's always a structure to it. What they did was, when I sent my SOP, they made corrections and adjusted it because there are certain structures, maybe because they have done this several times, okay? So try and have a strong SOP. Okay, I'm going to most likely do a different video about SOPs. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't worry, don't rush. Jeje. Okay, the next one is proof of financial support. Okay, for this proof of financial support, they asked for a couple of things under it. Letter of financial support. So in my case, I was writing that my husband was sponsoring me. Okay, note that this entire journey was just for me. I know maybe I haven't said it yet, but yes, I'm not here with my son. My son is in the house. I'm not here with my husband because I had to come first, even in the promised land. Then they send person first. Joshua has to spy the land, okay? So one of the best decisions I made was to take my time, because the moment, I think in 2021, when I met my visa agents, they were the ones, that was the first time that they sat me down and said, I should consider the possibility of starting this whole thing, this move without my son first. Nobody had ever, in fact, up to that point, everything I was doing was around, I'm going to go with Micah, okay? So they said, you know what, I would advise, you can still go with him, but can you look at the possibility of going first? Then later you can bring him, okay? So I started juggling the thoughts and all of that, and see, that was one of the best things I did, because you people will know later. The gist is plenty, so let's not jump. So knowing fully well that I was going to be coming alone by myself, I wrote that my husband, of course, is sponsoring me, so I needed a letter of financial support from him. The next one was bank statement tickets. This is not like your normal statement of account. It's a bank statement ticket that allows the embassy to look through your account from the specific date to the other date. Okay, so the bank statement ticket, I put my sponsor's account, that's my husband's account, is a company account. I put my own company account. This is where that my talk came in. So I told them that I've been doing business for over 7 years, as at the time I was applying. Where's your business account? So I put my business account, and I put my personal savings account. This is where the talk that I was telling you people that time of people keep saying, oh, YouTube doesn't feed me, YouTube doesn't pay me. Because I had the YouTube account in dollars, I submitted that account. Do you understand? It was now this point that I was like, okay, this is my savings account, and then my company account is my company account. Do you understand? Having that account helped a lot. So you must not be doing YouTube, but if you are considering this journey, try to start saving in dollars. That way it will help you. It will help you. Accounts like that have like more weight. From my own observation, it must not, other people have gotten it without submitting any DOM account, so don't worry about that. But that's what I submitted. The next one, they said proof of relationship with your spouse, your sponsor. So of course my marriage certificate was used. Then the next one they asked for was company documents and proof of business. So for my husband, I submitted all his CAC and everything. Proof of business means like what's the business he does and what are the things, you know. So for his own, I submitted like purchase orders he gets from other companies, and then his CAC, I submitted my own CAC and all of that. The next one they asked for was property documents. If you have properties, this is just a way to make sure that you don't have any proof of fund issue. So I submitted the property document of my husband, I submitted my own property document. Then if you have tenancy agreement, if you have a property, there's a property that you collect rent from, if you have that, you can also bring. But I submitted just property agreement for both myself and my husband, and that was it. Okay, the next one now is when you now bring that your letter of admission, your letter of acceptance from the school, and that's called LOA. So you know, I've told people that I got my admission in less than 10 days, and that was when I submitted it. This was not the admission that the agents got for me. The one they got for me was there, but I just told them that I prefer to use this my own, because when I was even selecting schools, I wanted a school that had not just the structure, but also strong alumni ties and all of that. And Seneca College at that time ticked a lot of boxes for me, so I decided, okay, let me just go with Seneca College. Okay, the reason I didn't even go with Conestoga, in my head, I funny enough, Conestoga was like my first option, and that's why I gave them. But later I was like, you know what, the rates I was seeing was not too far off from Toronto, and I wanted to just experience Toronto. It's not, let me just be there at the center. Yes, it's more expensive, but landing, if I land somewhere else, I'll never live here. Do you get? That's my thinking. If I land somewhere else, I'll never live here. But if I've lived here, I can move somewhere else, and it will not be like, wow, this place is cheaper. But if I've lived in the cheaper place, when I come here, I'll be like, Jesus, this place is expensive. You know, for me, it's just a personal thing. But I was like, you know what, let me just stay in the epicenter. And I moved with Seneca. Okay, so the next one, they now ask for application forms. For these particular forms, I had to fill it in the office, because I think my Apple laptop was just messing up and all of that. But these are application forms that just require you to fill in some areas, quite easy. The next one, I submitted my IELTS result. Submit IELTS result if you're going to do Nigerian Student Express. I submitted it too, based on this Nigerian Student Express, but still my visa, it took time. Now the last one here was the upfront medical. Okay, so upfront medical too was another part for this visa application process that I submitted. Understand that everything that is here is something that you can get. The one that I know that you have to work towards, if at all this thing is in your mind, is your proof of fund. Your proof of fund should be tight. Or if it's like, oh my God, you know, guys that want to send their wives, please, I beg you. One thing I would advise, you know, in every video like this, I try to also add advice. I will advise you, hope your wife is aware of the process, because I find some people, you do the entire Canada process, she doesn't know. You just carry passport and give her, and then she has to pack all her children and appear here. So it's crazy. I'm going to be doing videos with women that have come here with kids, how they survived and all of that, like later. Let me finish all these my backstory videos. But there are certain mistakes that people made that were avoidable mistakes. So knowledge is power. That's why most times someone will say, oh God, allow your wife to work, allow your this to. It's because there's certain exposures that are needed if you have this type of plan for your family. It's not enough to just send them forth and be sending money. Your wife has to know some certain things. If you're sending her, and you, madam, too, you have to know some certain things. If it's only work you're doing, fine. Start arranging your what they call your account. Okay. So for me, that would be like my key advice. You know, the entire March I was doing like my bed was towards my birthday, that agents were like, April is deadline if I want to get September admission, because I was like, I want September admission, but I want to defer it to January. Like, I'll apply for September, but defer to January, because I had December weddings I didn't want to miss. So that was my plan. And then they said, hurry up, you know. So I did all my arrangement processes, and then I kind of finished submitting everything by June. My next video, I'm going to be detailing my waiting period. Oh my father, everything I had to go through and all of that, because I don't want one video to be too long and too boring. If you missed any of these points, I'm going to also be writing like the things I submitted, oh, that's for me, in the comment section and also in the description box. And you can check out the previous video before this, like, so that you can get my thought process and how I arrived at this particular decision. Every single step, I'll be taking you guys along. Thank you so much for watching. I really Acid Darling. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was insightful. If you need to forward it, please share it to your friends and family, like and subscribe. Ask me all the questions that relate to this particular topic. This one, don't ask me for this one, so that I'm not scattered. Amen. Let's just be asking in the periphery, in the which of the peris, any of the peri of this particular video. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching once again. I really go Acid Darling. Please check out my other videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.